Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? My name is Carlos Branchetti, and this is the Student World Spotlight. We're back, folks, carrying on the season today to talk about a very special destination. All right, so everybody, be very welcome here. Let's see who's already online here. We have Camilo Espinosa. Hi, everyone. Hi, Camilo. How are you doing? We have John O'Connor from Brazil. Hello, John, mate. How are you? Rafael Nepomucena, also, I'm guessing from Brazil. Andres Felipe Cushara, and so many other people are joining us here today. Guys, I am very happy to be here. All right. First, well, actually, before I start, let me just say something. I am catching a bloody cold, so I don't have any makeups here at home. So if I look like, I'm not going to use the word, but if I don't look like, Beyonce or something like that, which I could if I had some makeup on, would be way better. But this is the face I have for today, unfortunately. So you're going to have to, play along with that. If you want your money back, I do understand. If you want to skip for the next video, it's fine as well. Just kidding. But yeah, jokes aside, guys, as you know, here on the Spotlight, we always put an institution, a university, and we show a full 360 degree of that institution and all the things about the programs they offer, the opportunities they have for international students, their characteristics, what makes them unique, their costs, their if they have scholarships. We show you absolutely everything about the institution. And today, I'm very happy because we're bringing for the first time on this season a university from New Zealand. Yeah. And now I ask everybody, I asked Vanina, I asked Noah, I asked Fred, I asked Eduardo, what do you know about New Zealand? This small country, but full of opportunities when it comes to studying there, right? Especially for us, consider international students. So let me tell you a few things about New Zealand first. Did you know that the New Zealand universities are in the top 3% in the world? So we are talking, in other words, quality of education, right? Your degree being recognized worldwide. And that's the number one thing that matters when we're looking for places to study abroad. Second, we're talking about a forward-thinking and open-minded country. Did you know that New Zealand, I didn't know about this, by the way. So did you know, by the way, Victoria, Fernando, and Lady who is it? Lady, that New Zealand was the first country where women were allowed to vote. That's right. Now, who can guess the year that was? If you're guessing something in the 1900 something, you're wrong. That happened in 1893, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, but our guest can confirm that as well here. What else? New Zealand is also the second most peaceful country in the world. Did you know that? I didn't know that. The number one is Iceland. Yeah, lots of information about New Zealand. Lots of things that makes this country a great place to study abroad. And I know that we here in the west of the world, we not always think of New Zealand or Australia or those destinations in the east. They're not the first things that comes to our mind sometimes, but they should, because there are so much amazing opportunities down there that we should really consider. And I'm so happy to have here a university, a very nice university from New Zealand that we're going to be exploring today. So yeah, buckle up. And because I'm really excited, I think you all going to enjoy here. We're already 61 people joining us here today. Who else is joining us? Gita from Indonesia, Smart Betsy from Nigeria, Felipe from, where is he? Don't know. Annalise. I like that all of you guys are coming from a different country. So please go ahead, put there where you're watching us from. If it's in the morning, if you're watching us just starting your day, it's already afternoon, or if it's evening, please tell us there. And all right, so moving forward, before we move on, let's take a look on what makes this country, New Zealand, one of the best places to study. Let's take a look at a quick video we prepare here for you.
Our world is changing, and our world needs new, because new doesn't just think about the world's problems, it cares. New acts boldly to solve challenges, but never forgets the importance of people.
It just opens my eyes to a much wider opportunities.
New is prepared for today and ready to create tomorrow.
I learned about identity, about myself.
New welcomes open minds and different perspectives.
The thing that surprised me the most is the diversity of culture here.
New is progressive and never stops learning.
Qualifications in New Zealand are recognized worldwide.
New is the problem solvers, the go-getters, the innovators, the big thinkers. New is a New Zealand education, and new is what the world needs.
Great, huh? Now, folks, let's please welcome to the stage Tanya, who is here representing University of Waikato. Hello, Tanya, and welcome to the Student World Spotlight. How are you doing today?
Hi, Carlos. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
I have to admit, I'm a little disappointed that I'm not being interviewed by Beyonce, but I'll get over that.
Oh, I had to be honest because I'm in the when you're in the process of catching a cold, I'm right there.
Right.
Yesterday, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna hit me hard. But then I don't have anything, and I looked myself at the mirror. I was like, oh boy, okay, let's work with this. But but maybe next time I'm gonna ask the team of the Student World to get in touch with Beyonce. Maybe who knows? Maybe
yes.
But we're really happy to have you here today, Tanya, and
represent. My pleasure.
Yeah, such a great University of Waikato. And by the way, I always like to ask at the very beginning if I'm pronouncing correctly, because I made some big mistakes in the past. How do you say the name of the university?
Yeah, I think you have said it pretty well correctly. So Waikato.
Waikato. Okay.
Yes,
cool.
Waikato. Yeah.
All right then. So why don't we start why don't you introduce yourself, like what you do for the university, and tell us briefly who is University of Waikato?
Okay, so my name's Tanya. I'm the regional manager for South Asia and Latin America. So that means that my primary role here is to reach out to new international students from those countries and provide them with assistance and information and just help them on their journey to the university. So my primary role is to work with our partners, so groups such as FPP, and we have multiple agents around the world too. So yeah, so that's just, I'm just here to facilitate their study and their future.
Cool. So we have basically 70 people watching us right now. And
great.
So if those people want to study at University of Waikato, you're the right person to talk to them.
I'm certainly the right person to help them with that. Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, did you want some information about the university as well?
Yeah, but why don't we play the quick video before we start there? Because it's also a nice way to show the faces of the university, and our audience always love videos, right, guys? So let's take a look of the University of Waikato.
This is the University of Waikato, where every day people are making a positive change, where research helps tackle global challenges and elite athletes can compete at the top of their game. A place where people are given the tools to protect their whenua for future generations, where talent is nurtured and excellence is celebrated. It's a place where industry, innovation and education converge, and where moments are shared with loved ones. It's a place where teaching and learning has no borders, and people of all races and cultures work together as one. Our people, our future, Positive change starts here.
Wow. Great
Yeah,
video.
yeah. Some nice photos there of our Tauranga campus, which is a new campus that we opened in 2019, at the beginning of 2019 in the beautiful Bay of Plenty region. So yeah, people who really want to spend a lot of time by the beach, I would highly recommend that they look at Tauranga as a possible campus at Waikato.
Oh, nice. So maybe we can start with I always like to start with this question, which is what makes the University of Waikato unique for international students?
I think one of the things that I find about Waikato is that it's a university where there's a very strong sense of community. There's people here really stick together. We're very supportive, and that was probably most evident during, this year and last year when we've been living with a global pandemic, and New Zealand went into a lockdown in March of 2020, and all of the staff at the university all got a list of students who they were assigned to be case managers for, and we contacted them on a daily basis to see if they needed any support from that, because they were working from home and whether they needed technical support or just personal support. So that was a really good example of where the university community banded together to support our students. So our student support is very strong here. We do have some really great lecturers and academic staff in areas like cybersecurity and information technology and artificial intelligence, and that's an area where we exceed. We have a new a Centre for Artificial Intelligence that's been established this year. We have a Triple Crown accredited business school, so Waikato Management School is in that elite group of business schools that has all 3 levels of accreditation. So we do have a really strong academic program, and we're able to support our students through that as well.
Cool. By the way, guys, I forgot to mention this, but we like the whole thing about these streamings that we're doing here, and thank you so much for Tanya for being here today and with the University of Waikato, is to make them available as well for you guys to send your questions. Share what's your situation right now. What's the program that you're interested in studying? Are you looking for an undergrad? Are you looking for a master's? Are you looking for a shift in your career? Are you looking for what kind of program are you looking for, right? Which areas? Please send your questions, and please don't worry writing them as personalized as you can. It's about your situation, because then we can address here. Tanya is here to address all of the questions as well. And so don't let us be here and talking, because this is supposed to be a really fun and informal and nice conversation. So please go ahead, put your the programs that you're interested in, and start sending your comments, questions, because we would love to address them. All right, but okay, so the idea here, Tanya, is maybe we can start talking about like the different faculties that you guys offer, all the different programs offered by the university in general, like a quick overview. You already did a little bit of that, but I wanted to bring some again, if we can say it again and just make it clear for students, because then I'm going to start asking more specific questions on some of the faculties, because we have great information here that I want to get you to explore a little bit. So again, what's a brief overview of the programs offered by University of Waikato? And again, is there a particular area that you guys are really strong at?
Yeah, so I guess I'll start with our most popular program. We've been running a program called the MBM, or the Masters of Business and Management, for many years now. It's a 1-year program, and at the moment it is available to complete solely online, or you can complete some of it online and come across to New Zealand when the borders are open. So that's probably our most popular program. And as I said, that is run by the Waikato Management School, which is a Triple Crown accredited business school. There's also, we have an engineering school that has undergraduate and postgraduate programs in engineering. So we have a Bachelor of Engineering with Honours that meets the requirements for the Institute of Engineers here in New Zealand, and that's also recognised throughout the world. So if you get an engineering qualification at Waikato in any one of the specialisations, then you'll be able to become an engineer anywhere around the world. There's also undergraduate programs offered by the business school, such as the Bachelor of Business. We have a range of specialisations and majors, including international management, HR, supply chain. All of those things are available here. Supply chain is quite popular at the moment, being a small country which is so remote from the rest of the world. We really have to develop quite a lot of expertise in that area, and just in order to make sure that we get all our goods and services over here to New Zealand. Nearby the university is a new inland port which is being developed over the next few years, so we expect to have quite a big growth in jobs in that area, particularly in Hamilton, which is where Waikato's main campus is located. We have a School of Computer Science, which has very high recognition throughout the world. And as I mentioned, they have just opened their new Centre of Artificial Intelligence. They have a Masters of Cybersecurity, which is the first, and I think the only Masters of Cybersecurity, if I'm not wrong, here in New Zealand. They have their own cybersecurity laboratory and really good relationships with Interpol and other major cybersecurity organisations throughout the world. We also have a Masters of Information Technology as well, which has a special paid internship in that program. So very industry focused program.
And by the way, I love I love the fact that the University of Waikato is not only like providing like those traditional majors, but also like coming up with like these, like the programs in artificial intelligence, and keeping up with the market, and this is really nice. And but the cool thing, Tanya, is that as you were showing the programs, our folks in the audience, they were like commenting and all put in their interest. That's like Vikran is interested in masters in design engineering, and I love the diversity, by the way. So we have data science for undergrad in arts and films, and we got microbiology. So another one, doctorate degree in economics or taxation. I mean, it's so many, like the diversity is unbelievable here. I love that.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
So, okay, but we're gonna get we're gonna get into the questions in a few seconds. But I just wanted to ask you more specifically about the Faculty of Business Management, because you are one of the few Triple Crown accredited. Is that correct? So that makes, when it comes to studying your MBA or studying business, it puts you guys among the 1% business schools in the world.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. It is a very highly ranked business school. So as you said, Triple Crown accredited. So we've got the AACSB, the EQUIS, and the AMBER accreditation. And there's only about 1% of business schools in the world that have that level of accreditation. So it is very highly regarded, both within New Zealand and also globally. It means that when you get a qualification from our business school, you will be able to take it either back to your home country or wherever you choose to work around the world. It will make you a global citizen. You'll be globally qualified. So it is a really great business school with a lot of fantastic academics who work really hard to maintain that accreditation.
Absolutely. And by the way, guys, for you mentioned here like all the different programs that you're interested in, but feel free to also shoot the questions that you have, because as you know, applying to study abroad, it's a long process, right? So some people are at the very early stages. Some people are finding themselves already looking for, they know they want to study this particular major, they know they want to study in this or that particular countries, and they are looking for the requirements and so on. So depending where you are in this long stage, you have different questions. So use this time to ask those questions, because we are here to address all of them. And again, we're going to address the financial aspects of it as well later on. But go ahead and shoot the questions as well. Tanya, but the next question I have here, it was something, because I was reading out your website, right? The University of Waikato website. And something catches my attention, because I was reading that you have something called conjoint degree, or double major. It's kind of I got the feeling that you can almost personalize your education. So can you explore that a little bit? Tell the audience here, what are the possibilities?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't get that question a lot, but yes, we do have the opportunity. We do offer the opportunity for students to personalise their qualifications, particularly at undergraduate level. And I mean, I don't know about you, but when I was an undergraduate, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So when I went to university, it was best that I did a qualification that, which allowed me to try a lot of different areas, because when you're when you're young, you're not really sure what direction you want to take your career. So, for example, you could do something like a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Social Sciences, and you could choose from a variety of majors. They help you build your degree so you can choose subjects that you're interested in and you want to explore a little bit further, because that's what university is about. It's about learning and exploring where your strengths are and what your interests are. So yeah, definitely there are co-joint degrees. So you can do a Bachelor of Arts, co-joint degree with maybe an LLB if you're interested in law, or you can do a Bachelor of say Science and a Bachelor of Arts, a Bachelor of Business and a Bachelor of Social Sciences. You might want to take some psychology subjects. So yeah, you absolutely have a lot of flexibility at undergraduate level to build a qualification that works for you. And you can also, there's a lot of opportunity to change. So if you're in your first year and you've found an area that you do really like, you can start to focus more intensely on that area as you move through the second and third year. And if you want to go into postgraduate level, then that's where you get really specialised and where you start doing some research in that area, where there's going to be an industry placement where you can start working. So there's a lot of opportunity to explore the different areas that you might be interested in.
Oops, I was muted. This is really interesting. And I wanted to also explore a little bit, because I've heard this, and maybe I want to check with you if it's a myth or if it's in fact true. That in New Zealand you have the teaching methodology is very hands-on, right? So can you tell us a little bit more? How does that reflect on the experience that international students will have?
Yeah. So they focus on a method called the practice-based learning. So generally, when we're teaching a topic, it's very much you just don't see too many lecturers just standing up in front of a class and talking while students take notes, and really just rote learning, and by the end of the class you've forgotten everything that you've learned. So there's a lot of interaction. There's a lot of an expectation that students will feed back, will interact with classmates. There are usually tutorials and practical sessions, depending on the kind of area that you're going into. But you'll be presented with maybe a case study and expected to go into groups and talk about the case with your group, and present maybe a project outcome which you might work on with a group. So yeah, it's very much practical based learning, where students are expected to contribute to the class, because people learn better when they're practicing what they are being taught. You generally, if you just have someone talking at you, it doesn't really work. I don't remember anything if someone just talks at me. But if I'm practicing it, if I'm going away and putting what I've learned into practice, then I'll learn it. And that's the general consensus across New Zealand. And actually that approach is being implemented in schools as well. It isn't just university, it is a whole of New Zealand approach to learning. So it is quite a progressive approach that we have here. And we also, I guess interestingly, we also have a School of Education, which is one of the first schools of education in New Zealand, and they offer teacher education programs and have been doing that for many, many years. And that's really one of their areas of strength, in those progressive types of learning styles, and teaching students to go out and being able to implement them in our schools, right from early childhood up to secondary education. So it's a strength. It's something that we both teach, but we also apply in our qualifications as well.
Yeah, that is really, really nice. I'm completely 100% behind that way. You learn by doing it. And yeah. And a final question before we get, and we do a round of questions here from the audience. I've also noticed that some of your bachelors, and the number of bachelors and the number of masters that you guys offer, they do include an internship. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah, and that is part of that practice-based learning approach, is making sure that students have an opportunity to connect with an industry and complete a project within that industry. So a majority of our undergraduate programs and postgraduate programs all include internships. We call them work integrated learning, which is probably not a phrase that is familiar outside of New Zealand. But if you've got a work integrated learning component in your qualification, then that would be your industry placement or your internship. We also have a program called the EPP, which is the Employability Plus program, and that's a program that is voluntary, so students can do this in addition to their studies, and with that program they'll be given the opportunity to complete, they will do voluntary work, they'll work within the community, and they'll also work within the university as well. So we give them lots of experience to enable them to practice what they're learning in their current qualification, and that will actually be listed on their transcript when they finish that.
And that's not only for like the students like doing bachelor's in business or something, but in a diversity of programs, right?
Yep, all right across the university, anybody can participate in the EPP. Yep.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Really nice. All right then. So let's do a quick break. Let's address some of the questions that are coming up here. All right then. So let's see, who do we have here? Let's take a look. So many questions here. I keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Oh boy. All right, let's go up here. Who do we have? A trainee. I'm looking for, okay, so we have trainee JL. I'm looking for postgraduate, master's, or MBA related to IT. What do you have in there?
So we do have a Masters of Information Technology, and it does have an industry component in it. We don't have probably a combination of a business and an IT qualification, like I guess he's referring to maybe a cross-disciplinary program where there would be some business papers and some IT papers. So we have, I think, generally, when I'm talking to students who have an IT background, my advice is that they complete something like the MBM. So the MBM program is specifically designed for people who don't have a business background, so that they can build on the qualification that they already have, and they can add business and management skills to that qualification. So I would probably recommend the MBM for anybody who has a background in IT and is looking to add some business skills. If you've got an IT background and you're looking to go into a management level position, you don't really need to do more IT. You need to have those business skills. So that would be the best qualification.
Awesome. All right. So let's enter here in a kind of a lightning round of questions. If they ask basically if you have these particular programs, right? So we're going to address a few of them. First one coming from Francisca Zapata Martinez. They're saying, I'm interested in the Master of Disability and Inclusion Studies. Very interesting subject. Do you have that?
We do offer a Master of Disability and Inclusion Studies. That's actually offered by our education faculty. So this is a program that is specifically around theory, policy and practice in disability. And we offer it to people who have an education background and who are looking to extend that and to add to that with a focus on disability education and inclusion education.
Great. Is that your case, Francisca? Share with us here on the chat. But moving on, next question, Maria, do you have a master's in port management?
In port management, I think that would probably be similar to a supply chain management. I think when you're talking about ports, you're talking about supply chains. We were offering a Master of Management in supply chain. While the borders are closed, though, we're not offering that program, but probably once the borders open, we may start to offer that one again. We do have a graduate diploma in supply chain management, which is a 1-year qualification and has been very popular in the past. And we also offer a undergraduate degree in supply chain. So a Bachelor of Business, you can do a major in supply chain there as well.
Cool. All right, Maria, let's, what's your case then? Oh, it's a master. Her case, she's interested in a master. Cool. All right, then. Now Victoria Severo, she's interested in a veterinary undergraduate.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I have a feeling Massey University in New Zealand may do veterinary studies. You'd probably just need to jump on Google and have a little search veterinary studies in New Zealand, but no, not at Waikato. It's we don't have a veterinary school here. One of those rare qualifications that you only get in maybe one university and in the entire country, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
but Victoria, if you're still there watching us, send us a DM on Instagram to the Student World, and then we're gonna put it there for one of our next posts to show you some other options that do offer veterinary. All right, send us a DM at the Student World on Instagram. But all right, moving forward, we have here Fashion 16 is interested in a doctorate degree in economics or taxation.
So I might just start by saying the interesting thing about doing a doctoral degree or doing a PhD in New Zealand, so if you are interested in doing research, if you've got a higher level qualification and that's your next step, international students who study PhDs in New Zealand pay domestic student fees. So a PhD in New Zealand is very, very low cost if you compare it with a PhD in other countries such as Australia or the US. So students generally pay around about 6,000 New Zealand dollars per year to do a PhD program in New Zealand because the government subsidises us because we do want to get more of those high quality, high level students to do research in New Zealand because it benefits us and it benefits the entire country. So if you have an undergraduate, and usually we need a postgraduate degree in your particular area of interest. PhD, because it's a research program, you need to choose an area that you want to do your research in. So you usually need to put together a research statement where you ask a research question and then you go about figuring out how you're going to answer that question, and you'll need references, you'll need to cite other research in that area. So you'll need to put together that. It's a good idea to make contact with an academic staff at the university to see if there's anybody who has expertise in that specific area. So we definitely have lots of economists and accountants at the university who are currently doing research and are always looking for people or students who have exciting areas of research interest that they can supervise.
Cool. By the way, guys, a great question. Super nice area of interest, Fash. We're going to be putting Tanya's contact information, at the end. So you guys will be able to send her an email, send her a message. And then if, again, she can direct you to the right person, she will do so. Last one before we move on with with our chat here. And then, again, we're going to go back to the questions later on. But Tanya, Sophie Fuentes is asking, does the university has anything related to biotechnology and or environmental sciences?
Environmental sciences, yes. So we have a Master of Science, which you can do in environmental sciences. We also have a range of programs in an area called environmental planning, which is actually more related. It's a social science. So that's around developing policies for developing the local environment. So we do have quite a lot of strengths in that particular area as well. So yeah, but definitely environmental science. We are introducing soon a new qualification called the Bachelor of Climate Change. So that would be an exciting qualification for people who are interested in that area as well. Yeah. So definitely, we do have the environmental sciences covered.
Yeah, and I mean that's exactly what I was talking about. Having the university connected to what we're living in the world, and that this new majors that you guys are launching. First, artificial intelligence, and now this one about climate change. This is so interesting. Can you imagine, guys, going back to your country with a bachelor's in that and so on. But yeah, so I want to address actually this question. Was a super interesting question. Thanks again, trainee, for joining us here today. This is a very interesting one. He's asking, is there any program that is 100% online and has the same value recognition as the 100% in person, let's say?
So a lot of our qualifications, can be done online. They can be started online. Some qualifications can be completed online, while other qualifications you can start and you can do a couple of papers, but most of the papers have to be done here. It really depends on the qualification. The MBM, as I said, is one qualification that you can complete entirely online. That program is recognised. So if you had that qualification and you came over to New Zealand with it, it would be 100% recognised. In terms of recognition within your home country, that would really depend on your home country, on the authority that recognises qualifications within your home country. So I know that can be quite tricky in places like Brazil, where there's a process that students need to go through when they've got an overseas qualification. So it's something that they'd need to look into within their home country to find out whether the qualification is recognised. In terms of our qualifications here in New Zealand, 100% they're recognised in New Zealand. We're a QS ranked university, so our qualifications should in practice be recognised throughout the world. But yeah, there are authorities within particular countries that probably need to look into that a little bit more closely.
Yeah, and by the way, I just want to point out something here, Tanya, because we've been
Sure.
hosting this lives for quite some time already, but the diversity of interest in terms of subjects, field of studies today has been like outstanding. Like
It's yeah. I'm
it's
seeing all these questions come in, and I'm thinking, really, I've never even heard of that area.
and yeah, and guys, we have so many. I have the chat here, by the way. Sometimes I'm looking this way because I have the chat. I'm scrolling down and down and down and down, and there are so many questions. But anyway, let's move on. If we don't have time to answer all of them, we're gonna put Tanya's email here, so you can, just send her lots of emails, and she'll be happy to reply. But anyway,
Yeah.
Tanya, moving on because we have less than 20 minutes left. So I want to talk. The next topic that I want to approach is post study work opportunities, right? Because many people they go to study abroad not only because they want to go back to the country and find a job and so on, but also they would hope to have a professional experience while abroad as well. So I want to talk about you specifically about this. What are the opportunities? Can international students remain in New Zealand once they're graduate and have like a work experience while there?
Yeah. So so I guess there's two facets to that question. So with regard to the visa, we have a very generous post-study work visa arrangement at the moment. So if a student completes at least 1 year onshore in New Zealand in a level 7 qualification or above, so that's a bachelor degree or a PG dip or a master's, then students are eligible for a 3-year post-study work visa. So that's a really generous option at the moment. Now, in terms of industries, there is a wide range of industries depending on what part of New Zealand you're in. So as I said, we're in Hamilton. So Hamilton is more of an agricultural area. We've got a lot of high-tech agricultural manufacturing companies here. We have a lot of companies that are connected to the university. So when the university does research and we commercialise that research, it is very often taken up by the companies that are here in Hamilton. If you go up north, maybe to Auckland, it's more of a business centre. So you have a lot of corporate head offices there. A lot of major companies have their head offices there. There's also, as I said, quite a big supply chain industry here. We've got a huge health industry, a big pharmaceuticals industry. New Zealand has an ageing population at the moment, so the pharmaceuticals industry is growing quite rapidly as a result of that. And also areas like financial management. As people move into their retirement, they're looking for people who have qualifications in things like finance. As with everywhere in the world, we are tackling cybersecurity issues. So recently our district health board was the subject of a malware attack. So we're always looking for people who have expertise in things like cybersecurity and IT who can help us manage those online threats as well. So a lot of different industries that students can have opportunities in. I guess the thing about New Zealand is that we are always looking for highly skilled employees. So we always have trouble. There's a lot of demand for people who have high-level qualifications in particular areas. So it's always a really good idea to get your qualification from a ranked university and get it in an area like I said, IT, cybersecurity, finance, health. These are good qualifications to have, as you'll have those high-level skills to be able to contribute and to get a job easily in those areas.
Cool. And we have like more people. Lady Maya is sending. She's sending the question multiple times. We're gonna get to the requirements soon when we talk about the application process. So hang in there. Yeah, because the other fact, Tanya, is that 85. I might be mistaken here. You can correct me, but 85% of the students that graduate from Waikato ended up getting a job within 12 months after
Yes,
graduating.
that's correct. Yeah, yeah. So our graduates are very employable. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And New Zealand must be like an amazing. Can you guys like just picture this? You go there living in that amazing country that we saw the videos already. And then you go there, you have this incredible experience. You meet students from all over. By the way, this is another question I'm going to ask you, Tanya, in terms of diversity of students. But anyway, so you meet people from all over. You're studying there, living the life. And then you graduate and you have the chance to work for a company there or for the industry there. You get like this amazing experience, professional experience. And the hard thing will be to go back home, that is a problem that I have as well as an international citizen. I just don't want to go back home, but anyway. Tanya, so regarding the diversity of students, like we have people here as they were put in their countries, from Africa, from Latin America, including Brazil, Mexico, people joining us from Europe. What is the diversity of students that you guys have at Waikato? Like, what are the main countries you're from, and can you share something about that?
Yeah, so we have over 2,500 international students, and at last count, were represented by over 70 nationalities. But we don't really want to stop there. We're quite prepared to increase the diversity so that I don't know how good it can go. I don't know what the where we win on that, but yeah, we really want to increase diversity. We want to invite more students from a wide range of countries to come and study at Waikato. So definitely we're looking for more students from Latin America, more students from Africa. So all of those countries, we're looking to increase diversity just across the board. So we find that the more diverse our international student community, the better it is for our local students as well, because they get to participate in a class where they're hearing about experiences from across the world, which really adds value to their qualifications.
Yeah, cool. The other thing, let's address one question before we move on to the next topic, which is scholarships and financial aids and every cost, tuition costs, and so on. There is a very interesting question here from Isabella Barbosa. She's saying, by the way, thanks for watching us, Isabella. If we study a master degree online, even for a few semesters or the first semester, depending on how long the program is, and then we move to New Zealand to finish the master's, are we still able to apply for a post-study work visa?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. Now, the advice that we've received from Immigration New Zealand is that you need to be in New Zealand onshore for at least 30 weeks and you need to be studying full time. So that's 90 points or above. So if you're not familiar with the points system, usually one paper or subject is around about 15 points. So you need to do at least 90 points onshore. So generally when we've got students studying online, they're a small but growing cohort. So we work with them individually to make sure that they plan their studies so that they have enough papers left over, so that when the borders open, they can transfer to New Zealand and study their papers on campus, the remainder of their papers on campus. So it depends on the qualification. If you're doing a bachelor degree, for example, then you've got plenty of time. You can study up to 2 years in your home country online before you transfer, and you'll still be eligible for that post-study work visa. Some students students who are doing a master's level qualification, maybe it's a 120-point master's, they really can only do about 30 points online before they'll run out of points to complete onshore. So it is something that we need to talk to individual students about and assess their particular case.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, this is why I personally love this streamings that we're doing here, because you can ask these kind of questions and you can get the answers from Tanya. And then we're going to get Tanya's contact, which is the right person that you need to be talking to from University of Waikato. So now imagine you could Google all this information, but it would take you some time. And now you're watching this probably laying down in your bedroom or in your living room, and just casually like watching this from your iPhone or
your question,
right?
That's right.
So now I wanna get into the very like popular topics, which is like, okay, people are getting. I want to study in New Zealand. It's great. I'm bought, right? But let's talk about the costs, right? So what's the average tuition cost that students would be looking at for both bachelor's and master's degree levels?
Yeah. So definitely, if you're looking for a higher quality study opportunity, it is going to be a little more expensive. So as with everything, you get what you pay for. So generally, our undergraduate degrees would start from around about 32,000 New Zealand dollars per year. Postgraduate degrees, you're looking more at maybe 35,000 New Zealand dollars per year. It depends on the qualification. Some qualifications, for example, qualifications where you're using a lot of laboratory equipment like engineering, can be a little bit more expensive because they cost more to make sure the students have the best learning experience. So yeah, it's not cheap, but it's absolutely worth it.
Absolutely. But can you share a little bit just for people to have a broad idea
Of
the amount, more or less?
So 32,000
Okay.
For an undergraduate degree, so 32,000 New Zealand dollars. So you'd need to convert that to your own currency to understand exactly what that is, and that's per year. So you'd need to pay that each year.
Right.
And then probably for a postgraduate about 35,000 per year. So I guess one thing I should mention though is that at the moment for online students, for each online paper that you do, we're offering a 20% bursary. So you're only going to pay 80% of what the normal paper fee is, or normal subject fee is. And then once our borders are open and students want to transfer to New Zealand, then we're offering a further 2,000 New Zealand dollars to students to help them with their travel costs. For our onshore students, if there are any online at the moment, we're also offering a 20% bursary on the first 120 points. So we are offering some pretty attractive bursaries and scholarships at the moment as well.
Yeah, and actually that is my question. Like, okay, so that's the price. And is there any place where people can find like information on potential scholarships that would apply for their situation?
Yeah, so those are the only bursaries that we have in place at the moment.
Okay.
Normally, when our borders are open, we have a scholarship called the International Excellence Scholarship. At the moment, that is only available for onshore students. So because students actually have to be onshore to be eligible for that scholarship, it's not available to online students. That is a merit-based based scholarships. So if a student has at least a B plus in their previous qualification, they'll probably be eligible for that. It's a partial fee waiver, so we offer between about 5,000 to 10,000 New Zealand dollars for the International Excellence Scholarship. So that is a very, very popular scholarship and one that we've had in place for many years.
Cool. All right, then. Now moving on to the next topic, which is the application process and the requirements, because we have been getting many questions here. People asking, "Oh, do you guys? What's the level of English proficiency that is required? What's the grade I need from TOEFL or IELTS? What are there any other requirements?" So, can you just give an overview of the application process for both the bachelor's and master's level?
Sure, yeah. So the application process is very easy. We have an online application through a portal called My Waikato. If you have an agent, you can use them and they can help you with that. If you want to apply directly, that's fine as well. You just go onto the university website, which is just waikato.ac.nz. And if you scroll right to the bottom, you'll see a big button that says Apply Now. That will take you through to the portal and then you can start your application process there. Usually we require a copy of the personal details section of your passport, academic transcripts, degree certificate. If you're going for postgraduate level, if you're going for undergraduate level, then you'd be needing to provide a copy of your high school certificate and your grades so that we can assess your eligibility. I did see quite a few people have asked questions about entry requirements. So for entry into an undergraduate degree, you need to have the equivalent of the New Zealand NCEA. Now, it really depends on what country you are from and what country you're doing your year 12 in. So it's really not possible for me to say exactly whether your qualification be eligible. You would have to look at that on a case-by-case basis. We do have information on our entry requirements on our website, and it is fairly easy to get to. You just go to the university's homepage, waikato.ac.nz, and there's a big button at the top called International, and you just go into there and go to how to apply, and that will get you to the undergraduate entry requirements. So you can look for your country and you can see what we require from your particular country for an undergraduate degree. For postgraduate study, again, it depends on your country. I know that's a very annoying answer, but it's unfortunately the truth that in the world we live in, not all universities are the same and they all offer different types of qualifications. So we need to assess that if you're looking for a master's level program, we're going to have to look at whether you hold a bachelor degree, which is equivalent to a New Zealand bachelor degree. So it really depends on what country you're studying your bachelor degree from or what qualification you're getting at in your higher education. And usually it's not all that, we don't really have that information on our website, like which countries offer the equivalent to a New Zealand bachelor degree. But that's where you can contact me and I can let you know if your bachelor degree is equivalent. The other thing that we need to consider is what qualification you're going into. So we have different master's degrees and they have different entry requirements. So a Master of Law, for example, requires a law degree. A MBM, you just need to have a bachelor degree. It doesn't need to be in any particular area, but there may also be a minimum grade requirement as well. So, so there's a lot of things that we have to consider there.
Yeah, on that note, and again, guys, if you contact, we're going to put the contact information for Tanya here. We'll be able to send an email to her and explain your situation, and she'll be able to better assist you. But on that note, just because you were bringing that, Seth here is, can you please guide that as prior work experience mandatory for admission in MBA or master's in HR management course?
Yeah, so definitely for the MBA, yes, yeah, any good MBA is going to require work experience. We have specific requirements. You need to be at least 2 years in a management level position or 10 years of just regular work experience to be eligible for an MBA. So yes, definitely you need work experience for the MBA. We have a Masters of Management Studies in Human Resources Management. That's a research qualification. So you need to have a bachelor degree or a higher level qualification in the area of human resources. So no work experience required for that, but definitely for MBA.
Nice. Thanks, Sai1, for saying your question. We're getting close to the end, Tanya. It's been already 1 hour. It went by so fast.
Indeed, that went fast. It did,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I'm so happy because we still have lots of people watching us here, 67 to be precise. Guys, now I wanted to show you a quick video that we have here from some of the students, international students from University of Waikato, telling about their experience living in New Zealand. So let's take a look.
It's great getting to meet new people at Waikato. The Kiwis are so multicultural and have such a diverse perspective on life.
I still remember when I was a little girl being so fascinated by the kapahaka groups that would travel to Hawaii.
New Zealand has so many unique places. So far I've been to Raglan and Rotorua.
I've been to so many exciting places since I've arrived a few weeks ago. Tongariro Alpine Crossing, Waitomo Glowworm Caves, and of course, Hobbiton. If you're thinking of coming to Waikato, don't hesitate. This adventure is not one to be missed.
This is one of the most life-changing events that have ever happened to me.
Come to New Zealand if you are curious and open-minded. You will experience the most beautiful time of your life.
Nothing better than to hear from the very people that are experienced this, huh?
That's right, yeah. And just can I add, Hobbiton is only about an hour from the Hamilton campus, so we're very close to that particular tourist destination, and it's fantastic. I've got to say, it is really, really good.
Nice. All right then, Tanya, I want to thank you so much for being here with us today on this Tuesday evening. Well, actually, it's Wednesday, super early in the morning for you, isn't it?
It's a little bit blurry-eyed, but yeah.
Oh, very, very. What time is it there for you now?
It's actually 8 a.m. now, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. All right, guys. Again, this is Tanya's contact information here. Tanya.clarke@waikato.ac.nz. I'm going to ask our team here at the Student World to also put that contact information. Oh, they already did. All right. They're faster than me. Good. They already put it there on the chat. So guys, please feel free to get in touch with Tanya. Again, University of Waikato is a great place, as you saw here today. They have amazing opportunities out there. And the thing that I really want to highlight, Tanya, from what you saw, is that how amazed I was with the fact that the university is in touch with what we're going through in the world, and it's constantly launching new programs that addresses the things that we're doing, and this is amazing. So the last question I want to ask you, just to sum up this, is actually, I'm just going to open up for a statement for you on why students should indeed pursue Waikato.
Well, why not? I think, you know, if you're in lockdown and you can't go out, as a lot of our Indian students who are studying online at the moment said, "Oh, I'm not going to waste this time. I'm going to start my qualification now. I'm not going to miss this opportunity, and then I'm going to come to New Zealand when the borders are open." And I think we've shown you so many different photos and images, but it's nothing like you will actually see when you get here. It's just so much more. The scenery is beautiful. It's an incredible country, beautiful people. So I think definitely it sells itself. I don't need to say anymore. You'll know that when you get here. And, you know, come visit and check it out when the borders are open and see for yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tanya, for joining us here today. And I hope to see you back here at the Student World in a future episode of our the Student World Spotlight.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure. Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you, Tanya. Bye-bye. And for all of you that have been with us for these 1 hour and 6 minutes, thank you again, guys. As you know, this is the Student World Spotlight. Today, we put on the spotlight University of Waikato in the beautiful New Zealand. Tomorrow, we'll be back here at the same time with a live with studying Sweden. Next week, we'll be back with more and more opportunities. Every week, we're here every Tuesdays, every Wednesdays. So if you like what you watched here today, please give us your like and you subscribe here. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified every time we have a new episode. And don't forget to follow us again. Join our community. I hate the word followers, actually. I like to think that we're a community on Instagram, right? So please join us, join our community there at the Student World. And if you want to, send suggestions on universities you would like us to welcome here on our lives, or if you want us to post about specific subjects, or anyway, just feel free to do that. Just like I suggested to one of our colleagues here to send her request for veterinary bachelors. You can send your request too. We would love to work on that. All right. We're here doing everything to help you pursue your international studies. All right. I hope to see you all studying in Waikato. If you do apply, don't forget to send us a DM on Instagram and just let us know. We would love to know that. And also we would love to see a picture of you studying in New Zealand as well. So that was it for today. Thanks, Noah. Thanks, Francisca. Thanks, Annalise. Thanks, Lady. Thanks, Saiwan. Thanks, Street. And thanks all of you, Isabella, who's been with us for today. All right, guys. That was it. Great to have you here, and I'll see you next time. The Student World, whatever you want to study, we know how to get you there.